guns from? These niggas ain't got. Where do you think they get the guns from?
So we're going to end
Well,
it there.
all in all, I'm sorry, but Kanye, I don't even know. That's why I was quiet this whole conversation. It's like I don't have anything to say about him.
So the reason why I bring this up is clearly he was talking and he was going on, and I mean he's admitted that he's bipolar.
Right.
He's also
actually on
admitted
medication.
he's admitted several times that he's not on medication either.
He takes it off and on, I guess.
Off and on. And
Yeah.
I think that was really what I was trying to understand. I think that it brings us to this whole idea of so some of the things I was hearing on TV was they were dismissing him as hey Taiwo.
Yeah,
There's some background noise.
Yeah,
Man.
you know the mic picks up everything you're doing, so we can hear every little thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But that's
I'm here now.
But that's where the whole mental health discussion comes up, because some people are dismissing everything he was saying as crazy, and I think that's where, for me, that's a dangerous path, because I feel like if people are vulnerable enough to come out and admit they have mental health issues, and I'm sure there are a lot of people in the Black community that can relate to that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's a very important discussion to have. But when you dismiss everything they say
as a
and
crazy
label them as
ramblings of a crazy person,
I think that's very, very dangerous. But we also have to acknowledge that there were parts of this stream of consciousness that
we're not coherent at all.
they weren't really coherent
and cohesive to the
and
conversation
I
at
think
all.
and that's a fair point. And I think that's where I want to have this discussion, because this is something that affects us in the in the African community
Oh yes,
too.
a lot.
And that's kind of where I wanted to kind of switch to Taiwo, just in terms of, again, I've known many people within the African community. They haven't been very, very open about it. I know there was one time that Taiwo had made a post on Instagram, which I found very inspiring, because I had no idea. Taiwo, from back in high school, he was my junior, but I mean, this was one of the most exuberant dudes out there. Like, he was the life of the party. He was always, so when he posted on Instagram and he posted about the fact that he might have been going through some form of depression. It's not the same thing as Kanye, because I don't want to conflate it, but it is a mental health issue. But he said he was going through some form of depression, and I guess he pretty much was reaching out to all of his followers, like, look, don't be afraid to talk to somebody, don't be afraid to get help. I found that very inspiring, and that was part of why I wanted to bring Taiwo into the discussion, and I wanted to find out a little bit more about, just how you've dealt with it, and Yeti, did you want to jump in here?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what were the go ahead, start, and then
So
we'll
Taiwo,
ask questions.
So I guess, did you want to? I had some questions, but did you want to first talk about it first?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I mean, one of the things, you made a great point there. Like, because I was so naturally, outgoing, I felt like.
Hello.
You
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, you felt like what?
Hello, yeah. Yeah, man.
Hello.
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't express it. People didn't get it. Like, a lot of people didn't get it. Like, they just dismissed it initially. Like, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you're just having a bad day. And I think for a lot of people, African community or not, I think the problem is acknowledging the fact that it's not just a bad day. It's not just a bad week. It's an issue. It's something that needs to be addressed. And obviously, there are so many things that can trigger this kind of episodes and depressive episodes and stuff. It could be career, it could be education, it could be family, personal stuff. So a lot of people related to that. I'm like, okay, this is because of that. But I feel.
Sorry, before you go on, was this something that, did you notice this when you were a kid, or was it recently as an adult while you were in Dublin?
Yeah. Like, I don't really, because obviously I left Nigeria when I was 14, 15. So it wasn't that I didn't notice it as a kid. I think it was when I reached 18, 19, 20 that it became a proper, a permanent feature in my life, that, okay, I had this really depressive episodes. And the way I would interact, the way I dealt with it was with anger.
Okay.
So I would act out. I would be really frustrated about things, and I just was really, really angry, for no reason, and then after the anger, I'll go back to this depressive episodes again for weeks, and I don't want to talk to people. And then, any small thing, I'll just literally flip on people,
And did you ever get diagnosed?
Yeah, like no, yeah. So it took till I was like 26 that I literally was like, all right,
Wow.
cool. I need to actually deal with this properly. So I did get diagnosed, and even when I got diagnosed, it didn't take until last year before I started doing therapy.
So
It's
wait,
crazy because
sorry. So you
Yeah.
always who took? Did you just go to the doctor? Did you seek out the help yourself, or I mean the diagnosis yourself, or did your parent take you to the doctor, or how did that come
my
about?
parents didn't take with the African parents now. No, the parents didn't do that. No, it was I had to like I was going out with a girl at the time, and she was the one that was literally she was trying to introduce me to like just trying to tell me like, look, maybe you should do that. Coincidentally, she was like an Irish girl at the time, but so maybe it was that different perspective, from an African perspective. My mom is a nurse, so she would have understood, but I just didn't know how to. So I don't. To be honest, I can't blame them because I didn't know how to, to kind of I didn't know how to engage with them about things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they would have even known how to deal with that as well at that level of what it was at the time. They would have just, okay, you're going through this and this and that. They wouldn't have thought this is a clinical issue that needs to be dealt with clinically. And I think that is the main thing. A lot of people don't understand. It's a clinical, it's a mental health. It's a mental health issue. It's not that you're going through the counseling. They're talking to people big. And one of my things is when people say talk to people, don't talk to people so that they can get you professional help. That's what I always say to people when I'm talking about it, because a lot of people get into this whole, especially, I think it was mental health day a couple of days ago, and people put all this fancy posts, and then they're like, oh, God, you're always a good friend and you can talk to your friends. Look, people have things they're going through too. They're not professionally
That's true.
not the professional capability to deal with you, and you're just going to end up getting more frustrated. Even people that genuinely care, they just don't know. There's some things that I can speak to people for hours about, and they just it's draining. But you have to be in a position where you can deal with someone that has a professional capabilities to deal with you, drain them of what's going on with you. It's like, if you're a nurse or you're a doctor and your specialty is not a particular thing, you can't go to a brain surgeon and talk about something that he doesn't is not in his field, because just be like, okay, I understand, but how can I help you really? So I think a lot of people need to understand these things. But yeah, it was when I was 26 that I actually got into the kind of mind frame, okay, I need to seek professional help at that time, and it became from counseling, and then went to therapist, and I didn't even go to therapy for 3 years. So I didn't go to therapy till last year, and I went to a proper extensive therapy session. So that was it really. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. So you were formally diagnosed with depression, or what
Yeah,
it was, if you
depression,
don't mind
yeah.
me asking? Oh,
Yeah.
so depression. Okay. So you saw an actual psychiatrist or a psychologist?
Yeah, both. So there's a difference,
Yeah.
So I saw a psychiatrist, and they were
Who
like, okay, 'cause I
prescribe
have,
medication and all that?
Yeah. They prescribed
Okay.
they prescribed antidepressants for that was when I was 20. That was 3 years ago. So I took that, but I didn't follow up with therapy sessions after that. You see, antidepressants it's a drug.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
only do
Just-
so
It
much.
just numbs you. It
Right.
doesn't deal. It doesn't deal with the psychological effect of what
Right.
you're going through.
Right.
It's just something
Right.
that literally it's like if you have an headache, you get a painkiller. It doesn't mean that you might not have things going on with
Yeah,
your
so
brain,
Yeah.
whatever.
So the antidepressants only
it just
take care of the
suppresses it. It just
symptom.
suppresses
You
your
still
mood.
have to
Yeah, exactly.
talk to somebody to figure out why what the issue is, because we all have issues. We
But
need to talk to a
exactly.
therapist to get
And
to
it-
the bottom of the problem.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And
the tricky thing with
mm-hmm.
antidepressants, the tricky things with antidepressants as well is because it's a psychological thing, your brain eventually overcomes the antidepressants, because
Interesting.
you still have that in the back of you. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So the antidepressant works as a numbing factor where it just numbs everything. So it's almost you don't have any kind of emotional kind of. It's just it leaves you neutral, right? But eventually your brain, because your brain is a powerful, they say your mind is the most powerful thing you have. Your mind eventually actually counteracts that.
Well, I feel like that's
So-
because you didn't go back to get it stabilized, though. Taiwo, did you go back to
Well,
get it?
You always need to stabilize
Because
it.
when they give you antidepressants, they have to mess with it to make sure you have the right, because it's a chemical imbalance in your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
you're not producing the right dopamines and all that stuff. So they have to give you the right combination
But
to
I
give
also
it the
hear,
right normal.
but I was because I know someone that was manic depressive also.
That's a different.
and that's
That's a
is that like
it's
more
like-
extreme?
There are different versions of depression.
But I know that person was hated taking those drugs.
Yeah,
because
'cause it doesn't- right. There are side effects now.
It deaded all their senses,
yeah,
their creativity.
unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why Kanye doesn't take it. I feel like.
Yeah,
I think that's
perhaps.
why Kanye doesn't take it because he's not
Perhaps.
in his genius mode, and it kind of
Dragon
numbs.
energy.
Yeah, it
Dragon
numbs
energy.
some people. That's what I've heard anyway. So.
That's what I'm saying. It's a numbing factor. It had a numbing effect on me. So, and no, you're right. I didn't go back. That's why I said when I went to the doctor of age like when I was around 26. I didn't go back to see a therapist till I was 29.
Oh
That was how
wow!
long it was.
So did you keep taking
Yep.
the medicine, or you just stopped?
No, I stopped taking the medicine.
And that's
I just
actually
didn't- I
kind of
said it's not
dangerous
much
too,
of a
though.
no.
You know that.
I do, but like I just felt like the therapy just works better for me.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
the moment.
So
I
you're
feel
saying
like-
like talking to somebody really does
Some
have an
people,
effect.
some people need both. Some people
but
need
that's a
only one.
professional
Some
person.
people,
But that's a
like,
professional. That's someone that's professionally capable of actually dealing with that. That's someone that knows how antidepressants work. You know,
Right.
you're talking to someone as a friend that doesn't, as you can say, like, you obviously you know a little bit about this because you're in the medical line. But if you're talking to a friend that doesn't know the effects of antidepressants or whatever, they would not understand. Okay, this is why you might need to go on antidepressants. So you're just talking to people. When you're talking to a professional that knows, they're a therapist, but they also know how antidepressants work. They will be able to find a balance and how to guide you there without lying to you. Because sometimes even your friends they might want to just make you feel better and say, oh, you're fine or this and that. You need a professional. Your friends will do that because that's just in the natural way. And I felt even my parents, they felt like they would just, even they can listen to it, but they just be like, you'll be fine. It's okay, blah, blah, blah. But you need someone that's going to be able to be stern with you.
Yeah.
They can guide you medically, but they can also be able to unpack what you're going through.
Yeah.
And I
and
think you guys brought up
unbiased
the PTSD.
view, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys brought up PTSD. I think it's something that we really just neglected in the African community, in the Black community
Yeah,
in
for
general,
sure.
as something. I think there's a reason why a lot of Black
Living
kids
in
act
Nigeria
out. I
will
do,
give you
like,
PTSD. Like, let's be
I'm
honest.
telling you, the things we saw in in Nigeria, even in Ibadan at the time, is just you see dead bodies on the road.
Yeah,
and
I
you
still
just don't
remember.
process these things.
I still
It's
remember
funny
them.
with school.
We saw dead
Yeah,
bodies
but
going
it's
to school.
funny with school. The things, because I also went to ISI, and the things that we were neutral to us.
Yeah.
I remember when I transferred to Alashiri, it was very, very to them. It was like, that's wild.
Yeah.
And recently I heard about and even what was going on in Alashiri to us too was still in the normal realms. But thinking about it now, it's actually like bullying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But recently I heard a kid killed himself in Alashiri.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
RIP to him. Yeah.
So Taiwo, just out of curiosity, has your family come
I was
around?
just gonna say. So when you got diagnosed, how did you break it to your parents?
I didn't break it to them in that time. I only broke it to them probably because I wasn't living at home as well. So that's
okay.
another factor.
Oh,
You get what
yeah.
I mean? So I didn't live at home with them since I was like 21. I lived in my own house. So it wasn't the thing that they saw on a daily basis. That's why I said it was my girlfriend at the time that saw it, because I was living with her. So she was the one that
okay.
saw it. I dealt with it. Like, they just saw that I was distant. Like, I won't call them. And Dublin is tiny. Like, Dublin is not even the size of Bodija. Like, it's a small, it's a small city. So I could have seen them. It's small. Ireland is 4 million, the population. So, I mean, it's a small country. But anyway, so they figured I was distant. I remember sending my mom a text message. I was literally like, I'm suicidal. I think I'm gonna kill myself. It was a long message,
wow.
like on WhatsApp. Yeah. That was like maybe 2 years ago, and that was when I was like, okay, I really need to start.
So what did she
dealing with
say?
this proper. She didn't reply.
Wow.
Oh wow.
She just didn't reply. I think she had a conversation with my sister, and my sister then had a conversation with me. And we had a good conversation.
How did you
about
feel,
it
though?
after and all that? How did I feel about it?
Yeah, that she didn't
It was
reply.
an honest conversation, it was an honest text. I just was seeking out for help because I just felt like I needed help, It
Yeah,
wasn't
I
a
mean,
case of,
her not
like,
replying. How did you feel? Like,
I mean, she probably didn't know
I
how
knew
to
she
deal with
wasn't
it
gonna reply.
either. She
Exactly.
probably,
I knew she wasn't gonna
it probably
reply.
shocked
Yeah.
her, and
but
I know his
ignoring
mom
it-
too.
yeah, but
I can
ignoring
imagine
it-
how
Exactly.
she was too
Yes,
scared
yeah.
to even.
yeah, but ignoring
But
the approach
ignoring
is,
it,
is,
though,
is,
I
it's
don't
a
know.
big.
Yeah.
And
but this is the message we need to
unfortunately,
get out there.
Africans are in denial about all this. She probably went to pray.
Well,
To be frank about it, they probably
No,
no. They are. Trust me,
Africans
Nigerian
are-
parents.
So
Nigerian parents, when you tell them you have mental things,
not,
they will
not
say
only just mental, anything they can't understand,
They go pray and that's it.
It becomes spiritual, because that's a safe haven for you. Is I don't understand what's going on here, so the only explanation is that it's spiritual, and that's why we have a problem we have in that country.
Yeah.
Is
Yep.
I think.
Can you imagine the amount of people just walking around in that country with all sorts of?
Yeah.
You know,
I saw a
suicide
picture
is
recently of like a
illegal
whole
in Nigeria.
family, a family of 5 yesterday.
Yeah.
That they're all mental and on the streets. A father, mother,
Wow.
3 kids. And the guy who posted the picture was like, he heard the father speak to the kids and like he was speaking proper English and stuff like that, but like everyone's just, they're like in rags. You know how the dreads, like
They're probably schizophrenic.
you know how the
or
dreads, like,
something.
when it gets dirty and stuff, that's how they were all a family of 5 on the street, and no one helped, no one
All
did
they
anything.
need is medication.
But
man.
everyone
Remember
sees them
you
and
remember
says,
all, you remember
That's so
all the
sad.
crazy people in Nigeria that we used to see, or that we used to call crazy on
Yeah.
the road.
Yeah.
there was one in
Every one of them, they would say
there was one in Bodija that was a
what for
doctor.
bullshit?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there was one that
They
used to be
use
at the
basically
junction.
they'll say they use jazz for him. Jazz
Correct.
is like black magic.
Corey, there was one that used to be at the junction of Old Bodija and New Bodija. That guy, I heard he was a doctor
Yeah.
before he ran mad.
I think I
Yeah.
I remember the guy.
Yes,
I think
I heard he was
Even
a
that
doctor
word,
before,
ran mad.
you know.
He didn't
But that's
run
the thing, he
mad.
didn't
That's
run mad. Yeah, but
right, but
growing up,
the way we
that was the perception.
Unfortunately,
And
the
like
way
it's,
Nigerians handle things,
a lot of
know,
them are
man.
schizophrenic.
They'll
and
have
yes,
mental
they are.
illness.
It's mental illness
It's
is
mental
real,
illness.
but the
It's so
safest
sad.
way is throw him away. Somebody in your village is looking for you. They found you.
Or the one that
you know.
what's the one that really upsets me when I see is all those old women
Mm-hmm.
that now they probably have dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff, but they'll speak gibberish and rubbish, and they'll start saying rubbish about, I killed this person.
they'll
It's
And then-
all
and they will call them
stuff.
witches.
Do you know? Yeah, one
Yeah,
guy,
and then
one
they'll
guy,
kill these poor
one
people.
guy,
It's
one
so
guy called out.
frustrating.
One guy called out his church or the pastor that told him that his problem, his life is from his mother. You know, and that's another thing too. I don't want to go on my church rant again, but these are institutions that are supposed to even help you, but they're the ones telling you,
Yeah.
oh, that's that woman. She says something wrong.
Yesterday, do you remember that girl that Pastor Oyedepo slapped?
Oh, I
Remember
remember
the one that she was where she was
She was
saying,
like, I'm a witch for Christ.
I'm a witch
or
for
something,
I'm a witch
Christ.
for Jesus.
Yeah, and he slapped her.
I'm pretty sure that woman had
something,
mental illness.
right? Like
mental illness
something,
is real.
and he slapped the poor
but
girl.
then he framed it as she was possessed.
Yeah, it's possessed. Yeah,
Us
it's
Nigerians, man.
it's-
I
it's
swear,
everywhere. Not
it's
just-
ridiculous.
Christians, Muslims, traditionalists, all
All
of them
yeah.
put it as
It's the
it
way
is something
like, but
unspiritual.
unfortunately, it's because they don't understand it. It's just like I get so frustrated when I talk about this because
And
it's like it's
it's
so
every
sad. It doesn't
aspect.
have to happen. It's not easy to manage, but it can be managed. And these
It
people on
can
the
be. It
street,
can be
and
functioning.
they're
You
like,
can be functioning,
Yes,
yeah.
you can be, and they're on the streets with nothing.
see-
like look at this
you
five
see
families.
kids
Kanye is
with,
freaking going to the White House.
What's
for
that?
God's sake.
What's that disease that kids have like people have where you can't like you you see it's not I don't want to use the word retard, but is it autism?
Autism,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I remember seeing like growing up, I see a
You're
kid.
scared to use it.
I don't because
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
I see a kid, but they will tell you he's retarded. And the thing is
Yeah,
like
well-
now I realize that this guy just had autism. And they would make him seem like, dude, don't go talk to that guy. I know be next
And
to
those
that guy.
autistic kids, the kind of genius stuff.
But that's the thing,
Yeah.
and that guy would be on its own, and you'd be looking at it like he'll come and be like, "Oh snap, nah, stay over there." But like that's wrong.
So Taiwo, so like just
Yeah.
if you had to say to someone that was going through some kind of mental health struggle out there, like just giving your experience and given how you've been able to kind of deal with yours, like what would you say to them, especially someone within the African community? Because as we all just expressed, we know that this isn't something that we tend to like treat well within our communities. Like what would you say to somebody whose family might not understand? Like how do they go about dealing with their stuff? How would you advise them?
It's great. Like it's a good question. And the thing I always say to people is like, not everybody's depression situation is the same. And like one of the things that I'm getting a bit like kind of bothered with in this kind of the mental health debate and at the moment is the fact that a lot of people try to like make it like kind of a one-stop solution. Like there's no one-stop solution to
You're
it.
right.
The main thing you get what I mean? Like there's no one-stop solution to it. So when I see people pull up this, today is gonna be a great day and tomorrow is gonna, when I was like really, really depressed, I didn't go to the internet and look for inspirational quotes. It's just it doesn't work. Like it's true. Like it's just like I just feel a lot of people that don't go through those things just put those things out. And it's good and it's well meaning. and and I know it's well meaning. I'm not criticizing it. But sometimes like, oh, you can always talk to me. You can always phone a friend. Look, I'm not going to call my friend at 9 o'clock in the morning when I feel like I really don't want to leave my bed and they're on the way to work and think I can unload on them. That's not feasible. It's not going to work. I feel people need to understand that this is a clinical thing, as Yetunde pointed out. And like the main thing to do is treat it like you have a flu. You have a really bad head cold, and you have to go to the hospital and go there because you have a really bad head cold. Start treating it like that. Start treating it like what it is, as opposed to this whole and I think it's the same kind of grouping of let's sit down and pray about it, or let's go and see a pastor. It's the same on phone a friend. I think I group them as the same kind of solution because it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
99% doesn't work. Whether you pray, whether you go and talk to a friend, whether you go and talk to your boyfriend, it doesn't work.
That's like
First
saying
step
you have a
solution is
broken
clinical.
leg. Go pray for your broken leg. You need to go to the doctor to see for your broken leg.
So with that said, I guess if someone were to come meet me, right, and I was going through something like that, I guess the best thing I can do for them is, of course, I could probably talk to them, but I definitely have to include that they should go see somebody.
Even help
Open
them
the
find
internet
someone.
and search-
Right,
and search a
exactly. Thank
psychologist
you.
for them.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Wait, so what do you think about the effect of social media on our mental health in general? Because I feel like
deleted
there's
Instagram. Remember I
definitely
talked about this the other day.
yeah,
I
you
deleted
mentioned
Instagram.
it.
I just
It wasn't healthy.
Social media doesn't help. It makes things
doesn't
worse.
at all.
Even for people
doesn't
that
work.
are not that don't have any mental problems. Social media even makes life.
really-
Social media
It
is a
pressures
crack
people.
epidemic.
You know, you see people
Social media
wake
is a
up.
crack epidemic.
Yeah, you know, and then social media is like you see a couple that finish fighting, hitting each other, but then
Yeah.
they're
People
able to
only-
get a picture of when they were
When they're
on some
happy.
island and they post it, and then you see gold. Everybody,
People only see
and
the
then
good.
people
That's the
people
problem.
that are even in better relationships start feeling pressured. Same thing with life. You see people that you think, hey, this guy has a Mercedes, this guy has a this, I don't have that. You feel, oh, this guy's in the club popping bottles, but you don't know what happened before that. You don't know what happened after that.
Social media.
So social
always-
media, you know, same thing with weight. People like, and I think that always affects a lot of girls. Even same thing with marriage.
All
you
these
know,
girls, yeah.
women. It's you know, they it's like, wow, you're here, you don't have you're single. You're 29,
you, man,
but then
it
every girl
is.
you know is posting
Social
a ring.
media
with
validation is
baby.
like a
Yeah, so
drug.
some people need
It's
that
like a
validation
drug,
for
man.
social media, and it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't help because if you let that get into you, you think your life is worse off. Look, we're all running different races.
Yep.
We're all
That's
going
right.
different directions. I don't
That's
have
right.
to.
You
What
don't
you
know what the
achieved
girl
at
that posted a
29,
ring is doing through
what
at
you
home.
achieved at 29, I might achieve at 35 and achieve better.
And you
Do
don't
you understand
know.
what I'm saying? Yeah. We don't have to achieve the same thing at 29.
Would you believe? Like I heard some people would buy their own ring and post it.
Oh,
Yes, people bought themselves
There-
gifts.
Don't you see?
There was another one
there's-
I saw that apparently they've seen an upsurge in people buying all these luxury goods,
Yeah, to
posting
return
with
it.
And returning
then
it.
Duh.
returning it.
Don't you hear about the private jet company that does photo shoots?
Yeah, you
They
can go
pay
inside, you can take
pay them
pictures.
$100 or
But you know,
whatever.
like
Just
I've
take
heard,
pictures.
I've heard people who would, when you're boarding the plane,
Yeah.
you quickly snap, or when you're leaving at first class, and like, but you see, it's you get validation from it,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but that validation is short lived. You know, and I was recently in the South Atlanta for a friend's wedding, and while we were all getting, I was a groomsman, while we were all getting dressed and everything, one of his dad's friends or uncles or whatever came into the room, and he said something that stuck to me. He said, dude, all these guys that flew, some people flew from Nigeria, everybody that flew out around the world just for this occasion next to you, that by tomorrow you're going to be by yourself.
Oh yeah.
That these boys are here to support you today, but
But
tomorrow they're going
They're
back to their
home,
lives.
right? You're by yourself,
And it's just you and your
just
wife.
You
It's the two of you guys.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't realize.
realize.
So when you're doing things for likes, these people that are liking, these girls that are liking your things, these guys that are liking your things, when you need help, they're not there.
at all,
When you
You're there
fall,
by
they
yourself
are there to laugh at
to
you.
laugh at you. Exactly.
You know, there's a joke that one of my friends and I used to have. Like, this guy, when did you gonna do Yahoo? And I used to tell that guy, the day I do Yahoo and they catch me, I put on Insta blog, you'll be the first person to comment. I knew it. That this is how this boy is doing it. And we used to laugh about, and that's life. Do you understand? But like, people do these things for validation. They're not there for you. You're the only person that matters. You know, so
That's true.
yeah, but
It's
people
true.
forget that.
People forget that
People
you're
forget
by
that.
yourself.
You're
and
by
that's it.
yourself.
Yeah.
Even family, they'll be there, but
Yeah, family,
at the end of
everybody
the
has
day-
their own life to
right,
live.
They have your own life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But we should probably just. I don't want to stay on this because it can be very depressing. Just even
And it's a very
thinking
long.
about the
It
effect
can't be
of-
fixed and
Yeah.
all at once.
But we did bring up social media, so I want to bring up this new trend I've been seeing of Santorini, Greece, man.
Yes.
Oh,
What's-
God.
what's
First
up
of all,
with this
I
place?
want to go there to just go and pour red paint all over the place. Just red paint, just sprinkle it. I'm like, you know what? Let's see who's gonna come back here.